219 News Now is brought to you by the South Shore Line and by Strachan Van Til, making lives easier for 95 years.
I'm Andrew Garcia, and this is your 219 News Now. A judge granted a $5,000 cash bail for a woman accused of stabbing her boyfriend to death following a domestic dispute inside their apartment in 2024. Lake Criminal Court Magistrate Mark Watson agreed to grant bail for Chikaya Rocket of Kenosha, Wisconsin. Her attorney, Cipriano Rodriguez, wrote in a document filed last month that Rocket was a victim of domestic violence who stabbed her boyfriend in self-defense. Rocket is charged with murder in connection with the death of her then-boyfriend Isaiah McChristen, who was found with numerous injuries to his body May 18, 2024, inside their shared apartment. The Indiana Department of Natural Resources Lake Michigan Coastal Program is accepting proposals until December 5th for grants that support the protection, preservation, and restoration of natural, cultural, and historical resources within Indiana's Lake Michigan watershed. Program funds may be used for projects that include public access or habitat improvements, land acquisition, planning and coordination, education and outreach, and applied research. A pre-proposal form as well as the guidance for filling out the application can be found under the Applying for Grants section on the LMCP Grants Program website. Several of Northwest Indiana's colleges and universities will be providing help to students in applying for financial aid this Sunday. Financial aid professionals will be volunteering at 34 sites across Indiana, assisting students and their families with filing FAFSA as part of College Goals Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. on November 9th. In the region, College Goals Sunday will take place at IU Northwest inside Hawthorne Hall Room 454. Spanish-speaking volunteers will be available on site. P&W and Ivy Tech will be hosting at a campus location each. You can find more information at nwi.com. And in sports, fresh off its 55-10 win over Maryland, Indiana turns its attention to Penn State this weekend. The Hoosiers will look to start 10-0 in back-to-back seasons for the first time ever, but while the Nittany Lions have struggled and made a head coaching change, the voice of IU, Don Fisher, says Indiana cannot jump the gun on this one.
All I can tell you is they've got another tough game coming up this week and another road game at Penn State, a team that is really struggling at this point, and I think Penn State still has tons of talent. This is a really good program that was built by James Franklin, and of course he gets fired after Northwestern beat them and they lost to UCLA prior to that. So those things get you quickly.
To read about more local news and headlines, visit jedtv.com and nwi.com. I'm Andrew Garcia, and this has been your 219 News Now.
And good morning. Welcome to WJOB AM 1230, 104.7 FM, Hammond, Indiana. This is That's What They Said with myself, Verlie Suggs, my co-host, Michelle Quinn, and Adrianna Alvarez.
Good morning.
Morning.
It's great to be here with you ladies, of course. And, of course, we're going to turn it right over to Adrianna with the update on the traffic and the weather.
Yes, so let's do some traffic first. Traffic's actually looking pretty good. I don't really see any traffic. We may have a little bit right there on 90 Indiana East and West Tollways going east on Willow Creek Road. And Chicago Skyways is looking good. Borman, Dan Ryan is looking good. We are seeing that it's looking good on Lakeshore Drive as well. We do have an entrance ramp closed due to construction on the Stevenson I-55 North at Damon Avenue, exit 290. So that may cause some traffic later on in the day. Let's see here. We also have some road closed due to construction on Kennedy I-90-94 express lanes west between Ohio Street, exit 50B, and I-90-94. So if you are in those areas or you are going to head into those areas, be sure to leave a little bit earlier just because those closures could cause some traffic later on. Taking a look at our weather today, currently at the Strachan Van Til Studios, it is 39 degrees. Today we are seeing highs of 64 and lows of 50 degrees. Tomorrow we are seeing highs of 60 degrees and lows of 37 degrees. Both days are going to be partly sunny, a little bit of breeze and some clouds. And then on Thursday we are seeing highs of 58 degrees and lows of 48 degrees, sun through the high clouds. But it's not going to stay that way for a long time because we are dipping into those low 40s and 30s and may see our first snowfall on Monday.
Oh, my goodness.
You guys sound so excited.
Isn't that too soon?
No,
I mean, we had snow on Halloween before.
yeah, we have.
But that was too soon then.
Yeah, that
was absolutely too soon. But I mean, I suppose it balances out now because last spring was cold until what, about the middle of June? It was abnormally cold, and then we went straight to, hot, super hot. And it seems that, fall mostly, when did it finally start cooling off? Like middle of October, was it? So, maybe our seasons are switching.
They are predicting a colder winter this year.
Okay.
But they always do that. They always say it's going to be colder. It's going to be colder. Last year, I don't think it was that cold, so I don't know. We'll see what happens this year.
No, it wasn't. Do we need snow? I mean, I can't remember. Do we actually need a ton of snow?
I mean, I'll take snow on Christmas, and then
Yes, snow from Christmas.
Just for the pictures, the visual effect of Christmas.
Right. I'll even give you Thanksgiving.
We're having designer holidays.
Yeah,
now. We need it to look a certain way.
Right, to maybe Christmas.
maybe
and
for
then,
the Macy's Day Parade.
Exactly.
Exactly.
No, we don't want it too cold in. That's how I grew up at the Macy's Day Parade every Thanksgiving. Mom was home cooking, and Dad and the kids were at the parade.
Oh, fun. Yeah, you had
Yeah.
a big old whirlwind in NYC this weekend.
Most definitely. It was always great going home. Definitely. We'll chat on that. And also Halloween. Adrianna had a number of costumes,
I
it looked like.
did, yes. I had a bunch of different costumes for this year. So I actually have 4 this year. I was only supposed to have 3. I had 4.
Okay.
So the first one that we dressed up in was we went trunk or treating.
Right, and you guys were Jed.
We all were Jed.
Did people understand?
Yes.
People who don't listen to radio, did they say like who?
We had a number of people come up to us and they started laughing. They knew who we were. All the North Township trustees, they all knew who we were. And
there's only one trustee.
Well,
the other
yes.
are board members.
Yeah, the board members knew who we were, and I think parents knew who we were as they're walking past. We did not get a kid say, "Where's your Halloween costume?" So I think it was successful.
Okay.
I think it was successful. So
Good.
we were Jim, and then my second one was Luffy from One Piece. We wore that for the Late Night Madness that P&W had.
Okay.
And then the next one, me and my friend, we were a cop and a prisoner. And
Okay.
my last one, which was the main one, was Wonder Woman.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
She really did it up.
Excellent.
Now, did you do any Halloween stuff?
What did I do Halloween? I think I made myself some birria tacos
Ooh.
and watched the new episode of South Park,
Okay.
which was amazing, by the way.
Was that the one where they were like, "It's South Park is no longer good"?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, have you seen it?
I saw that clip of it. I haven't seen the full episode though. I was laughing.
Oh,
at
it's that isn't even the funniest
Did you
part
get
of the
them in
show.
trouble talking about Miss Gnome or something?
No.
it. Did they shout you out on South Park?
No, although they did have Christy, her face did slide off. Her,
Again?
it slid off and crept across the table. So yes, she was in it, but she was not a particular. She was not the focus of the show.
So, do they actually use plastic and plastic surgery?
Silicone's plastic, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so maybe. I mean, but I think injectables are a completely different thing than.
I mean, because her face is melting off
Yeah.
like plastic surgery,
Yeah. So.
Well, we do have a sad thing to bring up. So we're going to start the show. And, I mean, you say what you want about the former vice president. I think that anything he did was redeemed by his daughter, Liz.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say condolences definitely to the family of Dick Cheney. He was the former president under George Bush, 84 years old, still young, passed away
Yeah,
this
reasonably
morning.
young. Yep.
So condolences to his wife, Lynn, and his daughters, Liz and Mary, and his 7 grandchildren.
Yeah.
Former president, vice president Dick Cheney has passed away.
Yeah, that was another one. We kind of have a joke in one of my, groups, my reporter groups, and my one friend messaged in and said, "Yeah, I've been pondering this over my breakfast, and I don't think it rises to the level of Kissinger, dying. That he may have been who he was, but he wasn't Henry Kissinger. So, it's like, okay, maybe not so much disdain, but
yeah, I think the whole family had an awakening after Donald Trump came about.
that makes one family.
Yeah, one.
So
But his daughter Liz truly stood up despite
she
all
did.
that was thrown against her.
She did, and now look what's taken over for her in Wyoming. Woo,
Exactly.
girl.
Yes. But definitely condolences to the family of Dick Cheney.
Sure.
So 219-845-1100 is the number to call in. We have a number of topics, so Michelle's going to give us a quick overview of some of the things that we'll be discussing today.
Okay, well, I mean, again, it wasn't, what was it, 2 weeks ago that it was just a, tsunami of garbage that we had to talk about. This maybe isn't a tsunami of garbage, but still plenty of, nonsense going on. Do we start with Snap? Do we start with Lauren Boebert and her boyfriend? Did you see that, Adrianna? Go take a look at her.
I was gonna say I can pull up a. Can I pull up a
Yeah,
picture? Or is
yeah.
that
Oh,
not-
yeah. No, it's not.
Halloween.
It's obscene, but it's
What's
not.
the name?
Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
Boebert,
Okay.
and then just put Halloween.
Okay.
I'll let
All right,
you react
well,
before.
Well, while you're looking that up, I'm going to say Happy Election Day.
Woo! Referendums, guys. I'm sorry, you gotta vote. You gotta vote for them.
That's
You got to vote for them, huh?
interesting
That's
little
said by
costume we
Michelle
got
Quinn.
here.
Yeah.
But in other cities and states, they're not only talking about referendums, they're actually talking about mayoral races
Yep.
and governor's races.
Yep.
So I'll go directly to my hometown, city where I spent
Ooh.
Saturday all day and got a whole number of different opinions regarding the mayoral race.
Yeah. So what do we think?
So Mandami is in the lead.
Good.
We know that he's in the lead.
Good.
And it's interesting you say good. I spent the day with my best friend who
Right.
is an immigration attorney,
Ooh.
pro-ICE immigration attorney. Blew my mind. We had a lot of debates on our drive from Brooklyn, Queens to the Bronx to back to whoa.
Okay, I have
But
thoughts
yeah.
about that.
Definitely Como supporter
God.
because and so it
Because-
was very interesting to hear her perspective. Now, tried to get her to come on this morning. I don't know. Didn't hear from her. So
Yeah.
it's going to be something today in the city of New York. And Mangami is leading with double. They've been voting for some time now.
Yeah,
early
yeah.
voting
Yeah,
started early in New York. And
Yeah.
today is the day where that final decision will be made. Now, they say former governor of New York, disgraced governor of New York,
Yeah.
Andrew Cuomo, running against.
Grabby, right?
Yeah, and so she brushed that off, saying, hey, and I have to be careful what I say on this because I got in trouble for saying the same thing about someone else who got brushed up against. So she said, he's Italian. People talk with their hands. They're touchy-feely.
Stop.
But see, here's the thing, Michelle. There are people who are kind of touchy-feely.
Yes.
And it's not that they're trying to be a groper or something. Some people talk to you and put their hand on your back.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a problem with that.
But that's not what he did.
Well, that's how she.
I'm sure. I'm
Felt.
sure we can and this is everybody. We can delude ourselves into anything.
Well, that's the opinion of a solid New Yorker that never left the city. Me, I left New York. But so is my opinion not as valid as hers? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, everybody embraced me back in New York like I had never left. No one said, Verlie, you sound like you live in Indiana. No one said that. I felt so good that I blended right back in with everybody, and no one said I sounded like a foreigner.
Well, first of all, I would say that you still, you to me, at least, you do have the trace of New York. I can hear it. And I'm sure that when you go back, it's very easy to slip into that. It'll be real interesting for me when I'm in Georgia. And I'm one of those, I'm like Madonna, I will pick up, so I come back with a little twang.
A little twang.
So when I come back here, am I going to be able to, am I going to slip back into my, Northwest Indiana, which is very much like, a softer version of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And Tucker says that he can hear it on me all the time, Chicago. I'm like, I don't think I sound like that. He's like, oh, you sound like that.
You just don't know it, because I know when we used to visit family in the South, they used to always say, oh, you have such an accent. And we're like,
what?
No,
we
don't have an accent. Everyone else does.
Yeah,
New Yorkers are the only people who speak the way you're supposed to.
Oh, now.
But let's go to the phone lines, 219-845-1100. Good morning, Cole. You're on the air.
Good morning, ladies. It's great to hear you guys again. I figured get in here early because I got to move around, at work and stuff.
Sure.
Just jump in, and I just wanted to share something that happened Saturday, which was of note, and I think, you guys relate or be interested in this. I went to a recovery convention in Joliet. Saturday.
Okay.
And I went with my beautiful black friend, and we were out there and having a good time.
So
and
now
then
you're talking about addiction recovery?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Yes. It's a double letter, anonymous group. That's all I can say.
Okay.
It's an anonymous group, right?
Sure.
And so it's awesome when we go to these conventions. I've gone to world conventions. The last one was in Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
And it was fabulous. And I went to the Orlando one prior to that.
Wow.
And so I'm into it. I've been in there like 22 years now. So
Very cool.
it's great. And I love it. And, I could just go on and on. However, so this time, we're there, and then before the main speaker, we have a little time. Let's go eat around here, right? And then we have another fellow member, a guy like older white man.
Yeah.
And he kind of stuck to us, right? And I was kind of trying to shake him off, so we can go on our little date, right? But we weren't able to, so we all ended up at the Golden Corral, and so we're over there, and it sounds like a joke, a beautiful black woman, Mexican and a white man.
Sure.
Went to the
Golden Corral.
Yeah. So we're looking like the oddest table ever, but we're having, we get our food, having a nice conversation and stuff. Well, during the conversation, somehow it steered around to like immigration, right? And my buddy here, man, he just starts bloviating, about I think it's a shame how these illegals. I say, whoa, and you're right next to these other tables, and I'm like, that got my blood up, I say, no, guy, no, don't do that. They're undocumented, okay? How can they be, illegal on stolen land? No, man, and I started kind of going off kind of loud, and I usually don't do that, And I'm like, the biggest criminal ever is sitting in the White House, so don't tell me about that. Well, what I mean, I was like, no, man, you know what?
That came out of your mouth first. Nope.
Right.
Yep.
You can't take it back. And so I'm like, let's eat, man. Let's just eat. We know we where each other stands, but I think it's just a shame, man, that you have no empathy at all for people that are struggling and are being persecuted right now. So we left it alone, So now, I really look at that guy with a side eye. I'm not gonna, probably not, and I'm gonna think twice. But he's a member, so we got to support each other, But it's bad when you find out, from what people are, what they're thinking on that matter is. So it's sad, And my friend, she's very vocal too, I think she was surprised to hear me, 'cause she's always commenting, so that was the experience I had Saturday, So it really something. It kind of fits our narrative, right? What we usually talk about, but it's just sad to hear,
It's sad to hear when it comes out of somebody's mouth. Yeah.
Well, especially someone, and for you, I'm sure, when anybody's mouth, but your bestie.
my bestie. She's like, I represent clients who have been waiting years to get their papers, and here people are jumping the line to get in front of them. So she's like so supportive of, and they're doing their job. You know, my first husband was in law enforcement in New York, and I'm like, oh my goodness. You know, it was just we debated the whole time.
Wow,
because we're not sharing the same views. She said, "Don't you support ICE?" I'm like, no. Do you know what they are? Do you know what it means?
Yes, we know what they are. Yes.
Yeah, attorney. I do know.
Right. You know, one of my greatest wishes that, you know, if you could have the 3 wishes, was to have a person like this, or maybe even Trump himself. You know, there's a Twilight Zone episode where I don't know if it was a Vic Morrow one, where he comes to and realizes that he's in the body of like a Vietnamese, and he's in the Vietnam War. Well, I'd like to see, you know, Trump wake up one day and find himself in a desperate situation way south, you know, in Guatemala or something, and the struggle that he had to go through, and everything that he has to do to get over to this country. You know, the desperation, the level of desperation. If you got money and you can get lawyers and stuff and do it the right way, of course, that's the best way to do it, right?
Yeah.
But if not, and you got a level of desperation that drives you to cross the desert and all these dangers, and you know, then I would love for somebody like this to experience that, you know.
Right,
but
and to take everything you own, including your small children, through that treacherous journey.
Yeah.
It's horrible, you know, and just the level of you know, where they have no empathy at all, you know, and they just buy the book and buy you know, and they're willing to look the other way for corruption and grifting.
Right. You pick and choose what's illegal. That's what's amazing. They're criminals.
Right.
They're not legal. But then they've probably done things that were not legal.
Right.
And gotten away with it. But you have a man in the White House who has been convicted and let criminals out on the streets again.
Right.
And you don't have a problem with that.
And we heard it from his own voice, how he sexually assaults women. Yep. You know, because they just let
his
you
own
with your
voice.
red light.
But he's a guy.
Well, I appreciate you weighing in this morning. You actually,
no problem.
You actually made me think of 2 things that I haven't done in decades. And that's watch the Twilight Zone or Outer Limits. So I'm going to see if I can find
one more Twilight Zone episode in the old black and white series, the Rod Serling, about the little boy that has like all power and everybody's appeasing him. It's like, oh yeah, you know, isn't this great? Oh yeah, Billy, it's awesome and stuff. And then when somebody is contrary to that, something happens to that person. Everybody's on eggshells around this kid. Mm-hmm. And, you know who that is. and that was way before now, so it was very prophetic, you know. So, all right, ladies.
Thank you.
Awesome to hear you always. So take care. Have a good show.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
We do not have any more callers.
Okay, that's cool.
So, Adrianna, I know you've been back there doing the glam thing, but anything you would like to share so we can put you on camera now that you're glowing, right?
Oh, not yet.
Not yet. We still need to give you a little more time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I did pull up that picture that Michelle was talking about.
Yeah. How about that?
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I got a full kind of full costume shot before I put it on screen. It looked like she was trying to be Red Riding Hood, but then
no
wanted to do something else.
Yep.
So here's a picture. I made sure that there's nothing like profanity in the picture.
Right.
So the person that is standing to the left is an ICE officer.
That's her boyfriend.
Of course.
And on her board, it says, Mexican word of the day, juicy. Tell me if juicy ice coming.
Yeah.
So inappropriate.
Oh. That's interesting.
You know, I wish and I was thinking about this as I was driving here, that I am quite sure, as we know, people have obscene costumes all the time. You know, we talk about the Maryville councilman who, you know, people do blackface Right, Minchuk. And so they do, everybody has had their, filthy moments. But now it's like, I want to go back to the days where it's not, where our politicians know better.
So there was a
And
lot of
just-
discussion about Halloween, and it's
Yeah.
been this way for years
Okay.
about inappropriate costumes.
Well, yeah,
And I mean, the whole thing with the Charlie Kirk,
Right.
people getting upset about.
Did you see the
Costume.
Jackie Kennedy costume?
Yes, Julia Fox. Julia Fox, she's a New York, I think she's from New York. She's one of these it girls and she was in Uncut Gems. That's her big claim to fame. And she dated Kanye for a hot minute and got a few Birkin bags out of him. But anyway, she went as Jackie O with the iconic pink suit
With the blood?
splattered in blood. Yes. And her way around it, and I don't know whether I believe her thinking on this, but she was trying to portray the strength of Jackie O, because Jackie O, after it happened, she's like, no, I am not changing. I'm not changing my clothes, and made this statement. So that was the line that Julia Fox was going with.
Yeah, it was inappropriate.
Yeah.
It looks horrible. But this has happened. This Halloween, to me, has become the Halloween where so many inappropriate, racist, bigoted displays have taken place. I know in Connecticut there was an issue about a couple that does a haunted house.
Right.
And they had a prison tower with a guard on it, and they had people hanging from gallows. And people were saying, that's like
That's
lynchings.
horrific.
And it was people hanging from,
Yeah.
and they refused to get rid of it, so a lot of people boycotted it. Then you have the display of a Nazi.
That's the one I wanted to talk about. That in Pennsylvania. Did you see this, Adriana?
I did not.
Okay,
know.
so here's
Let me look it
another
up.
one that riled me up yesterday. So Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, they did their Halloween parade. They always do their Halloween parade. A Catholic school, a Catholic elementary school, they have their little float, and going by, the guy put up the gate Arbeit macht frei on the back, which is, work will set one free, that they had on the concentration camps.
Oh, that.
Yes.
And then the
No.
priest, they didn't find anything wrong with that.
Well, okay, so what had happened was they got the first approval of the float. They got the design. Well, homie that designed it, who wasn't even a member of the church, just, out of the goodness of my heart, I will design this for, he's a woodworker. Something didn't come in time for him to, to do what he wanted to do. So he decided he was going to do this instead. And his excuse, I wanted to show that none of us gets out of here alive.
That's just
What?
crazy.
What?
So now, of course, they have apologized for the Auschwitz imagery.
Yeah.
Of this,
Yeah.
parade float, but
Yeah, and did
a
you
bit too little, too late.
Yeah, did you see his response to it? It was the most, because I went and I looked it up, and it was the most rambling bit of garbage
That sounds
I
like
have ever
60
seen.
Minutes interview with the president.
Oh,
I'm not talking about the edited version. They got a 72-minute
yeah.
full uncut version.
And I think the transcript is out on that too.
Oh, gosh.
So
I don't think I could read it. But let's go to the phone lines.
Okay.
Or Do
Okay.
we have? Do we have a phone call, or do you want to take a
We
break?
do have a
Adrian?
phone call, but
All
I'm
right.
trying to find this picture. What is?
Okay.
Where was it in Pennsylvania?
Just put Pennsylvania
Harrisburg.
float. It'll come up.
I think I found
Yeah.
it.
And let's take the caller while you find it.
Yes.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Well, good morning. Good morning.
Good
A breath
morning,
of fresh,
Ron.
a breath of fresh air this morning on the airways. Let me just say that my condolences to Dick Cheney. Now, I was not a Dick Cheney thing. He was a warmonger. But nevertheless, and I hate what happened to his daughter, Liz Cheney, because if she had not lied, if she'd have lied and said that Donald Trump election was not stolen, she would have still been in Congress. Will you agree with that?
No, because I think she would have still been outspoken about everything. I don't think she would have lied. She showed that she had too much integrity to lie.
Yeah. And matter of fact, she supported Harris running for president because and that's totally unprecedented that person would do that. But Dick Cheney, I doubt very seriously if this man, Commander-in-Chief now of the President of the United States, if you will, if they call it Commander-in-Chief, if he would I doubt if he would even acknowledge the fact is that so basically when a person like that been vice president under Bush, they would have a funeral in Washington or whatever, but I doubt if he'll even mention it. That just show you the character of a person like that. And right now, I attended a forum in the county government complex this past Saturday, yes. And our Congressman Frank Mervan, he had about 500 people there, and it was packed. And it's always some hecklers, and they have a right to, when you go in, they ask you to sign this little card, what you won't say it, and they give it, and then the Congressman will respond to it. Mm-hmm. So there's one guy, he jumped ahead up in the crowd. Hey, what about what's going on? Why don't you open up government? And so Frank being the kind of guy that he is, he said, let him go ahead and speak. I know he was supposed to do that. So, sir, go ahead and Frank dealt with the situation.
Right.
He said out it was made to look like a fool, Mm-hmm. Yeah. But Frank and
you know
say
what?
so.
I'm going to have a new term. This is the Trump government shutdown.
Yeah.
Instead of the Democrats, I have to continue to say the Trump government shutdown.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead, Ron.
What it is a shutdown because right now they were blaming. They said, why aren't you in Washington? The congressman say if the Speaker of the House he has the, in other words, open
Ask
up the government.
Johnson why they're not in Washington.
Johnson, right? Absolutely. So he just made this guy look like a fool. And then it came about why don't you go on WJOB with Davidson? Stuff like that. Well, that was not appropriate,
Daverton? Why would?
Yes,
Okay.
they asked Frank Mervan why didn't he? And so
Wait,
he
what
said,
did they ask him?
No, they asked him to go on with
why
Daverton.
don't you go
What
on
does
with
that
Davidson?
have?
Well,
Like,
because
why
he
would
came
he?
on
Well,
with me,
that's what I'm
and they
saying.
were all mad.
Well, that's
is-
a
this is-
wonderful
No.
thing, Adrianna, because he came on with you rather than someone who used to actually work for his department in township.
Yeah.
He Daverton was a
Verlie,
contractor for
Verlie,
the
Michelle.
township. So
Okay.
that was a conflict.
Yeah.
Right.
Of
And
interest.
let me just say that I'm an American. I love America.
Yeah.
I believe that right now something is wrong in America. When
Yeah.
you have 7 million people talking about no kings, some of the same people who voted for this guy is so disappointed. But I say sometimes you make mistakes and it could be everlasting. And you have an opportunity. So right now, and I'm trying to because I know there's other callers waiting. Right now we are faced with a situation in New York City, and now Trump made an endorsement.
He
of
did.
Cuomo.
He sure did.
And if I was Cuomo, I would have said I don't want it. I don't want his
So
endorsement.
he's still actually Cuomo has said that he will go against Trump. He's still saying that
he
as
said
he's
that.
running.
He said that. But what it is, I don't know much about Madami. I don't know. I guess but some people feel he's too radical and whatever. But nevertheless, I believe and when the people speak, you need to. I don't know if he'll win. I believe he will. He's in double digit, and right now. So what he did, Trump told Adam to get out of the race. Because, in other words,
Well, Adam has been out of the race for some time.
I know, but he suggested him get out because he wanted Cuomo to win. He don't like Cuomo either. But
they definitely don't want Mondami.
Right.
And the thing about it, well, I told you, my roommate was totally against him too. She feels he's too radical, and that organization with the 3 letters.
But I think government is so bad in Washington. They're willing to come out and do something because they're tired. Verlie, I talk to you a lot of times, and I'm worked up about it. I'm worked up about the thing right now. They talking about going at these ICE is going at these people. Nobody complained. They say these are troublemakers. What about the insurrection? I know people don't want me to hear about that. When they had threatened to kill the vice president of the United States, hang him. Now I have no. Mike Pence. Have you heard of Mike Pence lately? Publicly, no. Because right now it's such a hatred for this man. He just did what he was supposed to do as Constitution and did the right thing. I think he said he talked to the other guy, vice president, and they told him this is the thing you should do. Who's that vice president? He said he talked to him and asked him what should he do, and he told him just do what is Constitution. So I'm just simply saying these radicals and crazy people.
Now, Ron, you know that they're just high-spirited, passionate people who are trying to protect our government.
No, my God. and right now, people don't know that it's not easy to be in Washington and having a good opinion of all of America and health care for all, Medicare for all, and it's just that we have and if they don't vote the right way. These congressmen, you don't know the kind of threats and things they under. Probably most of them. I think there was one guy in New York. His name was. They threatened to kill him. What's his name?
Hakeem Jeffries.
Hakeem Jeffries.
He's been getting threats. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just saying this is ridiculous. Is this America?
Really? In I heard like Chicago media being down on him because he didn't come out with an endorsement right away and was lukewarm.
Yeah.
But he's in a tough position.
Yeah.
Because he's got supporters on both sides, and if I were him, I would have probably stayed away from the endorsement as well.
Yeah, I would say that right now, and it seems to me the threats against the Democrats, and some of them don't even want to run for office again. So I'm just suggesting that maybe they should have security around all the.
Really? I think Chewy's not running.
Oh wow!
Chewy's not. Yeah. See, we don't know. We don't know the threat that sometimes is on representatives across America. We don't know that.
Oh no, we know that our own Congressman Frank Mervan has to deal with that. He and his family.
I don't like to put that out. I know that.
No, but it's true. Everyone knows that.
Yeah. And to kill him and his wife.
Put it out, Ron, not you.
Since him and his wife both, they threatened to kill both of them.
Right.
And because he basically gets looking out for people in our community, I'm upset about that. And I just like to hear some of these callers and say, are they doing right? I have yet to hear a Democrat going at these other Republicans and vote and want to go do something.
I've never heard a Democrat say that anybody, including the president, needed to be killed here on this
right, absolutely.
Station. But Ron, we got to let you go. We're past our break time.
Okay,
so we're going to have to take a quick break, and then we'll continue back and always invite people to call back.
Yep, and before we take a break, I did want to show that photo that we were talking about of the parade floats.
Come on!
Yeah.
That was horrible.
I mean, and
the gate, and they made it the gates like going into a concentration camp.
Yeah, the gravestones here, and then I don't know what this.
Yeah, and first of all,
the Grim Reaper.
There were no gravestones at the concentration camps.
Because everybody was cremated.
Yeah, or dug up and put in a pit.
But But there were private residents at some of those places, and so they might have had like graves for the Germans that lived there, that sort of thing. But yes, the poor people who were.
I mean, and I'll just say this real quick. I posted the whole thing on my social media, and I'm like, look, despite what anybody thinks, I am truly. The First Amendment guarantees your right to say whatever stupid, idiotic stuff you want to say and be protected from the government from it, right? Mm-hmm. That's what the 1A is all about. But when is enough?
Exactly.
How is that okay for, to do? First of all, I don't know what kind of goofball this guy was to do that on a kid's float. Yeah. I mean, first of all, but when do we say enough? When is it too much?
Yeah, it is too much. Let's take a break.
Yep.
When we come back up at 7:00, we are going to hear from my friend in New York.
Oh,
so we're going to get a perspective from a New Yorker regarding this election.
Okay,
sounds good.
Drivers, don't miss out on the unmatched consistency of a Schneider driving job. At Schneider, you can find a driving position that fits your lifestyle and goals, all while getting the pay you deserve. Plus, Schneider drivers operate state-of-the-art, well-maintained equipment and have access to award-winning benefits and a 24/7 support team. Explore Schneider's huge selection of driving jobs today and find your perfect fit at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana wants to make you a winner every Friday in October with our $500K Double Down giveaway. Earn entries each week to boost your chance of winning a guaranteed $50,000. Then you can choose to walk away or risk half for a shot at $100,000 in cash. Do you dare to double down? Only at Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana, just off Exit 6, I-80 94. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Life's biggest challenges don't come with a warning. When legal issues arise, whether it's a car accident, personal injury, criminal charge, or representing you before municipal boards, you need a trusted advocate on your side. At Westland & Bennett, we listen first because your story matters. We provide strategic, personalized legal solutions to protect your rights, your freedom, and your future. Peace of mind starts with a conversation. Call 219-440-7550 today for a free consultation.
Tech Credit Union supports the essential role of union labor in building strong communities. That's why we offer hassle-free banking, financial empowerment, and a commitment to your success. Save for the future, handle life's challenges, and trust a partner that stands by hardworking union members. Tech Credit Union, the better option for you and your money. Visit techcu.org or call 800-276-8324. Tech Credit Union, supporting union families every step of the way.
But it's time. You gotta catch up with me. Yeah. I'll catch up with you. I'll be right back, man. I'll see you in a minute.
Anything else? Yeah.
Well, what's up, boy?
Hey,
Ryan. Not tonight, man. Not tonight. Oh, yeah. You guys are right. Hey, come on. Let's go. Come in.
And good morning. Welcome back to WJOB AM 1230, 104.7 FM, Hammond, Indiana, where you can, it's the only place, folks, where you can tune into That's What They Said with myself, Verlie Suggs, my co-host, Michelle Quinn,
Morning.
and Adrianna Alvarez.
Good morning.
So, I mean, this is the best in radio talk show in the morning, where you can get the perspective from three different individuals with varying opinions, different generations and perspectives.
Yep.
And it's just not all blather of the same old thing.
I would like to. I was at a bingo last night for the Lake Ridge Fire Department. They were raising money for their caroling program that they do every winter. And I was talking to someone who she's like, oh my God, it was so great. The day that I was complaining that I was wearing my gray shirt and it matched my hair. And she's like, that's so refreshing to hear.
Yes.
And I'm just like, okay, I don't know about all that, but hey, if you enjoyed it,
it's very refreshing to hear. We're going to quickly go to Adrianna to get an update on traffic and weather, and then we'll get back into the show. And remind you, tune in at 7 o'clock because we're going to be talking about the New York election.
Yep. So let's take a look at traffic and weather currently right now at the Strack Van Til Studios. It is 39 degrees. Today we are seeing highs of 62 and lows of 50 degrees, partly sunny and pleasant weather. On Wednesday, highs of 61, lows of 37, breezy in the morning, low clouds followed by clouds giving way into some sun in the afternoon. And then on Thursday, highs of 58, lows of 48, sun throughout the high clouds. Let's take a look at traffic. Traffic has actually stayed the same. There's not a lot of traffic. 80 going east and west is looking good. 90 going east and west is looking good. Chicago Skyways is looking good. Borman, Dan Ryan is all looking good. Let's see here. Bishop Ford is looking good. Lakeshore Drive is looking good. And the Stevenson going north and south. Eisenhower going east and west. And 94 going east and west. It's all looking pretty good. So it's all for your traffic and weather.
Thank you, Adrianna. We remind you, if you'd like to tune in, be a part of the conversation, or, your opinion doesn't have to match ours.
No.
We love the debate. 219-845-1100 is the number to call.
Or you can hate listen. It's cool. We don't care. Go ahead.
Love it, Michelle.
So, tangential to what we were just yapping about. So did anybody see the Tucker Carlson interview with biggest groiper Nick Fuentes, the anti-Semitic guy?
I try and avoid Tucker. I'm sorry.
I
I've
know.
never been a fan.
Well, apparently that did not go over well. So, and one of the things that I'm reading, what the Tucker-Nick Fuentes fiasco really reveals is that the white nationalist wing of the GOP is a major force within internal GOP politics, which I'm like, no. What? Get out. And so, but the headline here for this article is, MAGA rages at Tucker Carlson after Nazi shocker reveals too much.
So they don't agree with, the mainstream Republicans don't agree with all that.
Well, let me see here. Let's see if I can.
All this pro-Nazism.
Let's see.
So I have a question. When it comes, we're seeing a lot more Nazi. Is it correct to say Nazi propaganda?
Yes.
Yes.
So we're seeing a lot more of this. Has it always been like this? Because
No.
I've never.
I think that it has
until
been
like World War II. I thought we kept it in World War II, and then it was just like, okay, yeah, Nazis are bad. Why is it resurfacing now?
Because it's always been under the radar.
Yeah.
White supremacy, those groups out there in the West and places where they have those preppers and different groups.
Right.
They've always been there. But ever since ever since Barack Obama came into office, they have been able to they've been able to rise a little higher and higher. And then when Donald Trump hit the scene, it was like free for all. You can come out, share your views, and it's accepted.
The deckhead on the story, as Tucker faces criticism for hosting white nationalist Nick Fuentes, an expert on conservatism decodes how this tells the bigger story of the American right's refusal to police its extremists for the last half century.
See? Half century, folks.
Yeah.
Nothing new.
Yep. So, but yeah, again, say what stupid stuff you want to say, but maybe go back under your rock. I don't know, that it's terrifying.
Well,
it is absolutely terrifying.
Well, it is terrifying, and there is so much focus on what they want to call lefties.
Yeah, right. Ooh, there was another thing too, but go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, there was, and I could probably go dig at it if you guys are talking about something, but in the Heritage Foundation, there was a book that was just released, and the description of what they think lefties are, and it was like, oh God, just everything, or, skittled-haired lesbians, I think it was skittled-haired fat lesbians, and just all kinds of, but that's their, and you see that in the pictures and the memes that they post. You take the ugliest people, or what they think is ugly, and, you make fun of them, and, but I would argue, let's look at, there, and okay, we shouldn't shame, but anyway, I don't know where I'm going with that, but it was a pretty horrible description. Mm-hmm. And this is what they think.
This is what they think. It's amazing that the hatred and the vitriol that is shown to people who have different opinions than themselves. Now, granted, I have nothing but dislike for anyone who is like Fuentes.
Right.
That white national, Nazi-loving, Holocaust-denying type of individual. So I'm not putting Charlie Kirk on a platform because he said a lot of stuff that to me did not deserve a flag at half-mast. Okay?
Now, Verlie.
So I'm just saying. Yeah,
I know.
I don't support that. And regardless to whether you are on the right, on the left, a Republican, a Democrat, a Libertarian, shout out to Chuck, you are entitled to your opinion. Yeah, I respect your having an opinion. I might not respect your opinion.
Right.
But you have the right to have it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, I don't have to call you out or wish you dead because you have it.
Right.
I have relatives who are Trump supporters,
Yeah. Those are the people that you just stay away from.
No, I actually love them, so I have to be around them. I just have to kind of be understanding that some people just think differently.
Yeah, those are the relatives. It's just okay, we're just not going to talk politics. We're just not going to do it because it doesn't end well, and it turns into this big hamster wheel that
just around.
Yep,
and
then I'm
just
not going to.
Yeah.
We have plenty of other things to talk about.
Yeah, I just kind of nod my head. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Sorry you feel that way. In my head. I'm sorry you feel that way. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry you feel that way.
I will say, with all the political climate going on and that it just feels like nonstop, dang, Thanksgiving's going to be interesting at the dinner table for Americans all around.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing that you're always told, at least I was told growing up, you never bring up religion, you never bring politics at the dinner table.
Right. But that doesn't matter.
But that's been the case since Donald Trump came into office, that has been an issue for people
I think
at
it's always been the case. I think it's just been more accentuated, perhaps.
Yeah.
But I think it's always been the case. I've always heard that growing up. I've heard that in TV shows. Even,
you don't talk religion and politics.
Right.
You don't talk religion, you don't talk
So
politics.
how does that work for you, Adrianna, when you get together with family gatherings?
They ask me, hey, how's work going? And then I'm like, work is good. What do you talk about at work? And then I just put it all into a bubble. I'm like, well, you talk about politics. Sometimes we talk a little bit pop culture, and sometimes we tell stories. So I put the politics very first, so that way they forget about that one.
Yes.
And then we continue on. Mm-hmm. Because there are some family members that they absolutely don't agree with me, and then there's some that they do agree with me.
Do you have a hard time defending your views?
Not really, because they know that I want to find a better word for stubborn, because that means that I'm not willing to change my views for certain things. They just know that I'm very sure of myself.
Sure.
And
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, that I'm very sure of myself, that I'm open to hear their opinions, but I'll find a nice, happy medium to say, okay, I don't agree with you, but that doesn't mean that I'm telling you you're absolutely wrong and everything you say is wrong. Mm-hmm. I don't agree with you, but you're entitled to your opinion. And I put it in the nicest possible way I can. And even though I may be thinking in my head, hey, that's completely far outlandish, but that could be outlandish for me, but that could be a regular thing for them. Mm-hmm. So it's just, how nice can I put it to say that I disagree with you?
Right.
So it's just one of those things. And it's like, okay, well, yes, this is my family, and I understand that you don't get to choose your family in some cases, but they're my family. I'm not going to be like, oh, the love that I have for you my entire life, yeah, by the way, that's thrown out the window just because of your political views. No. It's just one of those things that, okay, I don't agree with you, but hey, we can talk about something that we do agree on. And it usually goes to sports and how, okay, hoping the Bears win. that's where we go to.
Right. Yeah, it's real interesting when you're around family and you're dealing with it. I know I have a relative out of state, and my sister's like, I'm not going there to visit anymore because the whole time on her TV, she has like those evangelical channels on with those people speaking, and just like, it's like, I'm not going in her house anymore because I cannot support that, their views on everything.
Yeah.
And so it's like you just kind of have to distance yourself from certain people in your family. But,
yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a break because we do want to have somebody call in at 7 o'clock.
So you are going to call them because I sent you the number.
Yes, we are going to call them,
Yes.
and from there we're going to take a break.
Cool.
Okay.
And
how long
we'll
is the break, Adrianna?
Let's actually see real quick. Let me switch the cameras. Hold on. I'm like rolling away. Because if you guys talk. Okay, so let's see here because the computer's all the way over here.
Michelle, is there anything you want to hit real quick? We have like 4 minutes before the top of the hour.
Okay. I was going to, there was a couple of things. We were going to talk probably later. We said we were going to talk about the SNAP, disaster.
Right. Yes.
And
we want to talk about the amount of money a SNAP beneficiary receives. Like, people think it's like enough to go shopping at Costco.
Right. We're going to order caviar off Amazon. No, but I wanted to, I have a story coming out this week. I spent a lovely Sunday morning with the Hammond Fire Department, and I'm doing a story. They announced last week, or was it? Anyway, they announced that they were doing posting up recipes that they make for themselves for $15 and under, so you can feed your families. In response to what's going to become a disaster.
Now we're talking $15 for
$15
a meal
for a
family of how many?
These guys, or when I was there on Sunday, they had a whole breakfast casserole they were serving for 8 Verlie firefighters.
For $15.
For $15.
Fantastic. We're going to hear about that when we come back.
Let's take a break. 4 minutes long.
Okay, we'll take that break, and then when we come back, we are going to be having my friend from New York City chiming in.
Okay.
And welcome back to That's What They Said with myself, Verlie Suggs, my co-hosts, Michelle Quinn and Adrianna Alvarez. You're tuning in to WJOB AM 1230, 104.7 FM, Hammond, Indiana. We're going to go quickly to an update on traffic and weather, and then we're going to bring our special guest onto the airways.
All right, so let's I'm going to try to do this as quick as possible because now there's traffic within the last 20 minutes.
Right.
So currently right now at the Strack and Van Til Studios, it is 40 degrees. Today we're seeing highs of 62, lows of 50 degrees. Wednesday, highs of 61, lows of 37, and Thursday, highs of 58 degrees, lows of 48, and it is going to be partly sunny all throughout those few days. Taking a look at traffic, 80 going east and west is looking pretty good. 90 going east and west is looking good. Chicago Skyways is looking good. Lakeshore Drive is looking good. You're going to have a little bit of traffic on the connector to the Dan Ryan and the Bishop Ford, I believe. Yes, that is the Bishop Ford. Yes, that is. All right, so you're going to have a little bit of traffic on that area. We also have a bit of traffic on the Stevenson, and that could be caused due to that exit ramp closure that we said earlier on the Stevenson I-55 North at South Ashland Avenue. And we're seeing a little bit more traffic as we head into the city. 94 going east and west is looking a little bit heavier in traffic. And then Eisenhower going east and going west is looking heavy in traffic right there at Austin Boulevard and at Harlem Avenue. So we're seeing a bit of traffic in those areas right there. But that is all for your traffic and weather.
Thank you, Adrianna. Let's go right to our special guest this morning. Leslie, good morning.
Good morning, Miss Verlie.
How are you? I'm going to get Adrianna to turn your volume up a little. You are on with myself and, of course, my co-hosts, Michelle and Adrianna.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Michelle and Adrianna.
Good morning.
I heard you guys, or it looks like you guys were tearing it up this weekend.
Yes. For the election?
No. I'm talking about you and Verlie here.
Chopping it up.
Yeah, she was zipping around, going on all these bridges, and I heard you guys were you were out of control.
We were the original Thelma and Louise back in the day.
Excellent. I love hearing it.
She's a troublemaker.
Oh, my gosh. No one's going to believe that, Leslie.
Oh, no, not at all.
I'm a witness.
You're a witness. Hey, Leslie, not only are you a witness, you're a victim, right?
I'm a victim. Stupid me. But the one thing I will say, we do pray. That's it. We do pray. We love them. We have great family.
Yeah, good.
Most definitely.
Yeah, our parents knew kept us in check. So we were good.
Well, mine tried. But yeah, that's another story.
No, but your folks know my folks, and my folks knew your folks, so they knew. When we got together, there was nobody ever knew what was going on.
Just make sure that there was bail money and... Yeah.
Well, we never got in that kind of trouble.
No, it never got that bad. It was just Dennis the Menace kind of fun, back in the day, and nothing major. But it was just, we had a full teenage life.
Yeah.
We truly did.
We had a lot of good experiences and a lot of, and thank God for our parents who understood what we went through.
Understood what you went through and guided you to where, we are who we are now.
Exactly.
And stuff.
I could see it.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And, shoot, I was just going to say something and it went zoop.
Sorry, Michelle.
No, I would think, I'm at that age too, but I was going to say that, and growing up in, the greatest city in the world, and I don't care. New York is probably
it is the
my
greatest
favorite
city in the world. We know that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So, I mean, I just remember, and then we'll get to the matter at hand. I was visiting a friend of mine, and she lives in Park Slope, and at the time she was living in this. She was living with her boyfriend. He had this great apartment that actually had a yard, right? And it was I think it was more like a condo or townhouse. But anyway, and we went out into the backyard, and right behind her is this apartment building. And the apartments, I don't know how many people lived in these, it's not like we have, I live in a fourplex, but it was a massive apartment building. And I'm just sitting there looking, it's like, God, there's a lot of people. And it was just, it was fantastic.
Hey, Leslie, she hasn't seen Queensbridge, right? The largest public housing in the country.
Right. No, I don't think we got
Long
to
Island
Queens.
City, yep.
Yeah, so, Or did we go to No, we went to Bronx because I know I've been to Yankee Stadium.
Okay, so you probably saw Co-op City then.
Possibly.
No, not that far. Not that far from the Bronx. Not from Grand Concourse.
But she went to the Bronx and you were in Park Slope though. So
right, that was one
Brooklyn.
visit. My second visit, I was in Park Slope.
Right. Okay.
And I was just amazed, like, wow, look at all those people.
Yeah. That's how we live.
Really? It's a lot.
That's how New Yorkers live. A lot of them. Leslie grew up in East Elmer. She didn't. She lived in a house a little, in a different type of neighborhood than I grew up.
Sure.
No, it's different because every location has its own flavor.
Right.
Yep.
And you get the vibe. And I find it curious that you say that you visited a friend whose boyfriend had a co-op or building there. He's probably an implant, not really from New York.
No, he absolutely is an implant. Yes.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of New Yorkers protest against. Because,
sure.
The flavor, the community is not the same.
Absolutely.
People didn't do the real hard work to build up a community.
Right.
And when they move in and then the rents go up.
Right.
Because they bring in different kind of money.
Sure.
So, Leslie, you brought up
ma'am.
rents coming up, and so we wanted you to come on and talk. I was sharing with my co-hosts about our conversations this past weekend. But today is Election Day in New York, and the decision will be made when the polls close this evening about who the new mayor will be in the city of New York. So I wanted to share with my co-hosts and our listeners and our viewers your opinions as a New Yorker who never left the city, and your thoughts on this election.
Okay, I think that it's a difficult situation.
Okay.
We have Zoran Mamdani, young guy,
right?
Who, in my opinion, nice guy, but I think he came too soon because there's a lot of things to clean up in New York politically to stabilize us. I think that right now Mamdani he's riding high on the waves. He's doing a great time, having fun. New Yorkers are very difficult.
Sure.
We are difficult. We will.
Yeah.
We stand by our convictions. We don't play.
Right.
I'm a Cuomo guy. I'm a fan of Cuomo.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Because of the pandemic, nobody knew what to do. Where were the state assembly leaders? It was silent. You cannot imagine the fear that a mother would have when there's an invisible enemy, the COVID.
Right.
How do you take care of your children? You have money, you want to deposit in the banks aren't accepting money. There was nothing going on. Empty apartments, people dropping, your next door neighbors collapsing. It was pandemonium in New York City.
Sure.
Well, here we got Cuomo coming every day. I have nurses, cousins who are nurses in North and South Carolina. They watched his program. I watched his program. I had a plan because of him. He took over, made us comfortable. We followed his plan, bent the curve. I'm here to talk about it. People thought it was a joke. It's no joke. And I said, if anything, I am eternally grateful for that man for helping me save myself and helping me save my community. Okay, so now we got Mamdani. He's here in New York. I'm going to tell you, during that pandemic, I saw people from different cultures, different races, creeds, whatever, get together without the state assembly, gather up food, clothing, whatever we needed. We neighbors helped one another while we listened to Cuomo, while we continue, and it still goes on today. I don't know their names. They don't know my name, but we say, "Hey neighbor, hi neighbor," and we talk about. New York is a polyglot. So you have many different folks here. What I see that Mamdani is going to have to go through he's going to have to go through the old ways. You know, New Yorkers are not easy. It's, you know, that's what I see.
What I was going to say, could it be that, you know, if he's got, and, you know, clearly he has this support at the moment, and, okay, so once you get in, it's like my vision, or, you know, my thoughts on New York is like, okay, you said you were going to do this, and if you don't do exactly what you said you were going to do, that, you know, you're going to hear about it. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah. So you're making these promises, and so now you've got a whole lot of New Yorkers who are going to hold you to them.
Exactly. Have you ever heard of the expression "the Bronx cheer"?
Oh yes.
Okay. Imagine that across New York City. So I understand that, and there's a saying, you know, that there's a progressive movement. What's the progressive movement? What do you do with the elders, my age group? You know, and those who did the actual work to make him want to become the mayor of New York. What do you do? How do you relate to them? We see through that. There's no such thing as free buses. Are you serious?
If you live in East Chicago, there are. But, I mean, rent control, you talked about rent. What about his desire to, rent control already exists in New York to some degree.
Yes.
So what more is he offering in regard to rent control?
Well, that's rent control for those who are in subsidized housing. If you're in subsidized housing, okay, maybe he can control that. But if you have a private landlord, what are you telling him? He can't make money as inflation because of the White House is going up? It doesn't compute. There are some landlords who are leaving their apartments vacant because to fix them up would not, it doesn't add up. You can't get the rent or you can't get the loan to fix up your apartment to put it on the market. So they're leaving it up. Verlie, you remember back in the day, South Bronx, how things were burnt, you know, there was fires and the buildings were burnt down. Why? Yeah. Because
we had a term for that, but I won't say that on the radio.
Right. But, I mean, that's a reality in New York, you know, in the history of New York. So what happened is you make more money, just collect insurance. Get out of it, you know? That's what landlords did. That's the only way they can empty out their buildings, you know, from certain things. I think that Mamdani is clueless about what real New Yorkers need and want. I don't like the idea of getting rid of the special education program. I think that we should always challenge our children, keep them interested, you know, tease their brain cells so that they could do better in school. The whole idea is we want them to be in school. We want them to want to be in school.
Absolutely. I don't think I'm familiar with when you say special education. Mm-hmm. Are you talking about a gifted program, or are you talking about special education for differently abled students?
The gifted program.
Okay.
You can tell how old I am when I use that.
I get it. That's why I wanted to clarify. So. Right. Why?
So New York has a lot of specialized schools.
Right.
And he also attended a specialized school.
Sure.
The Bronx High School of Science. Yeah. So he doesn't have the same flavor. He doesn't have the same upbringing as a person such as Verlie and myself.
Who went to all-girls schools where you and I were the only two blacks in our graduating
which is true. We were. But the thing of it is, we had to pass around the other high schools, the public high schools, our neighbors, our age group. They attended public schools. We had connections that way. We went to the dances, the parties, the this, that, and the other.
Right.
You know, so that's what the children are going to miss out on. I have a problem with. It's like a hidden agenda. there's no such thing as, when you talk about New York, the Empire State, capitalism or communism or socialism, what is that? For what society? I don't know. What community? So,
Okay. Go ahead.
you know, so my thing is, I resign myself. No matter who becomes the mayor, he will be held accountable.
Right.
As
they should.
Oh no, even more so now.
Yeah.
Even more so, because what's going to happen, and trust and believe, when the man in the White House says he will do X, Y, and Z, he will do X, Y, and Z. Okay, and you can count
So
on
Trump threatening to take away funds from New York if
not even not even the funds. I guess he's trying to threaten. Okay, even though I believe he's an American, he was born an American. Oh, I'm going to strip your citizenship.
Trump is good.
Well, no,
that he can't do.
He's not. He wasn't born American. He was naturalized.
Oh, okay.
So my point is, when you're thinking about Democrats, he will never become president of the United States of America because he wasn't born here. So he's to me, excuse the expression, he's a useful idiot.
Okay.
Put him out there. He's the whipping post. When Donald Trump endorses somebody, you're not going to follow through with it. It's reverse psychology.
So
that's
why his endorsement of Cuomo has hurt Cuomo.
I think so, because people say, "Oh, look at that! He's Donald Trump and Cuomo." Listen, Cuomo and Trump have known one another for many years. They're both from the same place, Queens, okay, in New York. Their parents know one another from back in the day. So that's what I'm imagining, bro. So
well, that's why when I always talked about the fact that we grew up in New York, we knew Donald Trump.
Exactly. We know that persona.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Michelle and
Adrianna.
Adrianna. It's like when you grow up and you kind of know a personality, you either deal with it or you don't. We didn't. After we knew that personality, you don't. That's and then you just watch out for it. You know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So now you see with we got Mamdani. They claim he's going to do whatever he's going to do.
Sure.
And you get the governor. Our governor says, "Oh, I'm going to endorse him."
Mm-hmm.
Are you serious? So now that she's endorsed him, who's coming to step in to challenge her next year? Elise Stefanik.
Oh,
that was the plan.
So let's talk about Hakeem Jeffries, who wants to be Speaker of the House at some point. What about him? Because he reluctantly endorsed.
He did. He said he endorsed ideas and concepts. You got to read between. Hakeem Jeffries is very clear when he speaks. Okay, and he wants to do what's best for the party, which I respect.
Sure.
And I respect the way he's doing it. I respect what even President Barack Obama did. They respect the party. It's not like, it's not like a Mikey Cheryl in New Jersey where it's like, hug and a kiss. No. It's for the party, for the sake of the party, for peace. And I can respect it. That's politics right there.
So then that same thing holds true with the Republican Party. There are people who do not agree with what Donald Trump's doing, but for the sake of the party, they are falling in line and following suit. So how is it right on one side and questioned on the other?
They have a different type of agenda.
Okay.
And they have a plan. Their plan is, I imagine, is the Project 2025 plan. And everybody is aware of it. I don't know how they operate, but I do think that that's some people are so. Listen, the way I see it, this is my opinion. The way I see it is, Donald Trump understands a weakness in a person. Once he finds that weakness, he capitalizes on it. Okay. People have secrets. People have, in their political career.
Sure.
And that's what he's using, holding it, dangling it over their heads. I'm going to tell your wife this, that, and the other. Everybody's worried about the Epstein files.
Yep.
So they want to know what's going on with Epstein, and because of Virginia Giuffre. Everybody knew what was going on back in the day. Trust and believe. But wait a minute. Let me ask you a question. What about the boys? People keep assuming it was only girls. I'm a mother. And
that's a
I'm
good point.
thinking, how many were there boys involved in this?
It's a good question. I don't know that. I mean, I don't know that there were, but it would stand to reason. I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm glad you brought up the point because I wouldn't have thought of that. Because
there was. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say there absolutely could have been young boys too, because gross people are gross people.
Well, we look at what happened in Great Britain when where the king dethroned his brother, Prince Andrew.
Sure did.
Right.
And then you look at British citizens who are coming out and saying, how they respect the king for doing this, and it's about time.
Right.
And then they look over across the pond and say Americans are in denial because they don't realize that or want to believe that their top leader was just as involved.
Right.
So when you look at the Epstein and what happened, and as a person involved in the judicial system in New York, do you believe that Epstein was committed suicide? I mean, you're familiar with Rikers Island. You're familiar with the different penal systems in New York.
Right, and I hope Rikers Island stays right there. And instead of the local places that some people want to propose to build around the community, which makes no sense. But do I believe that he committed suicide? Is that what you're asking me?
Yes.
I never gave it a thought. I really never gave it a thought because there was somebody brought to our attention on another a YouTube channel that those corrections officers were granted prosecutorial discretion. So, in other words, they were not charged. Okay, for whatever happened to Epstein.
So, like dereliction of duty because it happened under their watch, or
no, they just they were excused. They were forgiven. There is no case. Mm-hmm. And I have to leave it, figure it, maybe it's like that. People want to know about the list. Okay, everything took place on the island. Ask the workers. Yeah. Who are the people working those, at the place?
Yeah, they probably got paid huge sums for,
NDAs.
NDAs, non-disclosure. So,
but,
yes.
If you're asking me about the Epstein thing, the only thing I'm saying, that I'm asking, I'm wondering right now, wait a minute, why are they trying to hide the Epstein file? Why isn't it being exposed? Are there boys involved?
That is a really good question.
I'm wondering, how dirty can it be? I'm serious.
No, you're right, and to that I would say, do we really want to know? Because
exactly,
people never cease to just when you think you've seen it all.
Exactly,
you've never seen it all. Adrianna, is there anything that you want to ask or add to the conversation?
Not really. It's just good to kind of hear the perspective of somebody that is still living in New York about everything happening, because you're not really hearing a lot of different things about different states. New York has been one of the forefronts, and I think that's because in an interview, his last name is Mandami. He publicly addressed right then and there, looked straight into the camera. As I should probably look into the camera. Whoops. My job, yeah. That he looked straight into the camera and addressed the current president. And I think that kind of sends a little bit of a shockwave, and that's why everybody's so focused on this. But then also because New York City is one of the busiest cities in our country, if not the world, in our country. So, of course, all eyes are going to point towards that because you have that, you have all the businesses and everything. So it's just really good to kind of understand a little bit of like what's happening, what's going on, opposed to just what you're hearing, like pieces here and there.
I think also, from what you're saying, Mamdani, if he should succeed, will have a rude awakening. He will not be the same. That's why I say I like the guy as a person, but I think they used him too soon. I think what we should have done is cleaned up this mess. We had a mayor before, Eric Adams, Bill de Blasio. Don't get me started on him. He was more focused on becoming the president. We're now a sanctuary city. I'll tell you another topic. I don't have a problem with ICE. The reason being is this. When ICE is being used properly, it works. It's been around since 2003. All of a sudden, the policy has changed where people want to challenge them. No, that's not the way to do it. Go to an attorney, fight it in court. That's the way. I don't believe in those politicians who go to the courts, to the immigration courts. You have it right there in your town or in the Chicago area as well, where they want to get arrested or accuse ICE of doing X, Y, and Z. Let the law enforcement do what they need to do. A lot of times, the people know why they're being stopped by ICE. No one is above the law. Our children were born, their footprints were taken, at the hospital and given a social security number. Hello? That's America. That's my opinion. So let's do, I want people to be safe and follow the rules.
Sure, but it is, and I can agree with you there, but it's not just, they're not just looking, it's, and especially here, it's been indiscriminate. We are picking off people who are, there was just a story yesterday of a woman who was trying to show, look, I'm here legally, and ICE did not care, and they threw her in jail. I mean, and it was a violent, arrest.
Right.
And, eventually 4 hours later, okay, you're free to go. Why do American citizens, why does that, she's trying to show you, look, I'm here, why does she have to suffer like that?
No, she didn't suffer. She got out 4 hours. I've been to the detention places of immigration, so I'm pro immigrants who want to adjust their status or they want to continue being here. But I will challenge you. And Verlie, you've been to many places overseas. At one point, I was thinking about sending my son to study overseas at one place. But when school session is out, you have to leave the country. If you don't, you're arrested. Well, one of my friends, her son got arrested because he didn't leave on time. You can't do the same American thinking shenanigans in other countries. There are rules. There are security risks. Rules have to be followed. Like Verlie and I started the show by saying how we were Thelma and Louise and got into so much Dennis the Menace mischief.
Right.
But we follow the rules. We did not have parents that said, we'll come get you in jail. If the policeman says, hold on, let me see your documents, you showed it. You get on a bus, you have to show your bus pass. You show it.
Right. And this woman...
And come home.
Right. This woman was showing her documents that she had, and they yank her out of her car. I mean, 3 guys against 1 woman, yanking her out of the car and, basically hog-tying her. And there's video of this. Why does an American citizen have to go through that for these guys?
Because people have hyped up the whole situation. I think, and because the man in the White House enjoys that kind of WWF or whatever you call it, kind of drama. He wants to see results. That's not who ICE is. ICE is not supposed, it was never like that before.
Right, it's not supposed to be, but this is now.
Because they were given the green light to do that. But I don't blame ICE. the workers, because I want the law enforcement to go home, to return to their families safe. They're putting their lives at risk. I've seen both sides of for example, what are we supposed to do here in New York? There's prostitution. Mm-hmm. It's not on 42nd Street. It's in the communities. Why is it in the communities? Because a lot of people who cross the border owe money to the coyotes. They have to pay. I'm in New York, see folks from California floating around in New York. Same thing. What are we supposed to do?
Hey, Leslie, one other thing before we have to let you go. Because this is something that I was not familiar with. I haven't really seen much of it here in Indiana or in Illinois and across the border in Chicago. Right. A lot of people using these counterfeit license plates.
Oh, yeah.
Just tell our listeners a little bit about that real quick.
I've even seen it. And there are folks, okay, you know how, I don't know if you live in an area where cars park on the street, but you have to alternate side of parking where, the street
we don't have
cleaner
that here in Indiana like New York has it to clean the streets.
So you have to move the car. Yeah. Right. Well, you're familiar with fire hydrants.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to park within how many feet? 6 feet, 8 feet?
Yeah, something like that.
Of a fire hydrant, right? Well, their vehicles, they're parked right next to a fire hydrant all night long. They don't move when the city street cleaners have to come through. And then I'm wondering, don't they get tickets? But I watched one day a guy come out with a portable drill, and he goes to the back of his car, takes the plates off in the back and the front. He takes new plates, puts them on his car in the back and the front, and closes the trunk, goes home with his wife, with his woman, whatever packages they have. There are fake license plates around in the city of New York.
And that's amazing. When you're crossing the bridges, the huge electronic signs say that, we are monitoring for fake license plates.
Right.
Wow.
So, if you're trying to go through the Easy Pass and you don't want to really get charged because you have a fake license plate on.
Right.
How bad are the tolls? Are they as bad as they are here?
It's pretty. They're high, way higher than here.
The tolls are high, but I will tell you something. If you're born and raised in New York, you understand the bridges are better than they used to be.
Sure.
Or they're moving. You see your money at work.
Okay.
Sure. But there's always going to be a group of people that do that. They have fake identification cards. That's why in New York we have the real ID now.
Yeah.
Where
we have there too.
Right. The real ID comes up because there's a lot of fake stuff. Wow. And so, so this guy that's going
Leslie,
to be...
we have to really go. It's time for our break. I really appreciate you coming on this morning, sharing your views. I know we could go on and on and on, but I'm sorry we can't.
No, it's good. I had a wonderful coffee break with you ladies.
Well, good.
Definitely. We'll make sure that Adrianna gets a copy of this to you, okay?
Not a problem. And God bless you all.
Yep.
Okay?
Take care. Keep fighting the good fight.
God bless you, Leslie.
Oh, one more thing. New York tough, New York smart, New York disciplined, united and loving.
There you go.
That's
Take care.
Cuomo's motto. Bye-bye.
Boo!
I love it.
She
got it in there.
All right.
That was the pandemic. I'll never forget.
Okay, Leslie.
Thanks. Take care. Bye now.
Appreciate that. So you got it there first from a New Yorker right there on the scene, and some of the thoughts that are going through the heads of some of the New Yorkers.
Sure.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with the continuation of That's What They Said here on WJOB AM 1230, 104.7 FM, Hammond, Indiana. And welcome back to That's What They Said here on WJOB AM 1230, 104.7 FM, Hammond, Indiana. I'm Verlie Suggs. My co-hosts are Michelle Quinn and Adrianna Alvarez. And, of course, the phone number, as always, 219-845-1100. We're going to get a quick update on the traffic and the weather. This is the last segment of this morning's show.
Yep, so let's take a look real quick. So currently right now at the Track Event Studios, it is 42 degrees. Today we are seeing highs of 62 and lows of 50. Wednesday, highs of 61, lows of 37. And Thursday, highs of 58 and lows of 48, partly sunny and cloudy all 3 of those days. Taking a look at traffic. Did it disappear? Hold on, let me just refresh to make sure that's the correct that is the correct traffic. All right, 80 going east and west is because we had a bunch of traffic earlier and then now like it's gone. So
wonderful.
Like, okay.
Oh, all right.
80 going east and west is looking good. 90 going east and west is looking good. Chicago Skyway is looking good. Lakeshore Drive is looking good. We do have an accident on the Bishop Ford East at US 6, 159th Street, exit 73. That was reported. Let's see here, not too long ago. So we have an accident over there. We may have a slight traffic on the connector of the Dan Ryan and the Bishop Ford. Stevenson going north and south is looking pretty good. Eisenhower going east and west is looking good as it cleared up. We do have, let's see here, not a lot of traffic on 94 going east and west. So that's looking pretty good on your morning commute. That's all for your traffic and weather.
Thank you, Adrianna. Let's go to the phone lines, Michelle, and then we can talk back on any of the conversation we just had with Leslie.
Yep.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. How are you this morning?
Oh, enjoying my retirement life now.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
But I'm semi-retired because I'm helping out and everything, with the academy still. They're trying to get me back full-time, but until my eyes get back to normal, my retina doctor told me to keep out of the wind and out of the dust in my eyes and wear sunglasses when it gets bright. I will get back to health. That way I can see if anybody got any uglier since I lost my vision, which I hope they didn't,
Yeah, right,
I mean,
who wants
I
to
had
see
good
that?
I'm going to razz your producer again. I had good vision when I was at the trunk or treat, and I did not see no hair on the back of them costumes they had on. I'm still going to razz them. I'm going to razz them until next year they do that same costume. Show a little bit of hair,
There you go.
of some station owner,
We leave that to MX because I've been a co-host with Jim for a number of years, and I've never seen hair on the back of his neck.
Now your producer, I don't like this AI stuff, but my graphics program for my video and all my editing finally put this AI stuff where I can do stuff with AI stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And I played around with a picture of the producer you have on this morning, and I took all the background around. I got 2 pictures I made of her, one sitting on that bale of hay over by the building, and then the other one right behind that skeleton,
Okay.
That's it. I'm done playing with that AI stuff because that's dangerous. I'm not going to even get into that stuff because...
not kidding.
You are not
kidding about that.
Because you know what? When I take my pictures and I produce what I do,
right.
I look at all the pictures before I put them on, and I show the exact picture. I don't reproduce it or make somebody look stupid or bad. I mean, I thought it was a little funny, because I made it to where it was funny. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I enjoyed seeing them out there. I thought, you got monkey can see, monkey can do, monkey can't do, or those. My grandma used to have a little hard little thing where 3 monkeys, one over the eyes, mouth, and the ears, or something.
Yep.
And I'm thinking all 3 of them were sitting there on the back of that pickup truck, the 3 monkeys.
Right.
But they're good monkeys. They're good monkeys. I don't know if they eat peanuts, But, I'm not going to complain about anything about this stupid, wonderful government and politics going on in this world, because it's getting so ridiculous,
It's so hard. So hard.
We're all trying to make a living and we're trying to do good, somebody that comes to our country and tries to do a better life and do good. And there's a lot of business owners or people come from other countries, open up businesses, and and they do a good business for the area, and they're trying the best to do what they can. I have no objection to that, you know. But the ones that do come to our country and they say they want to come for a better life, and then they commit crimes and they kill people, that's the ones that need to go. You know, just like what's her name?
I would say that
and
everyone
just
here
like
agrees with that.
you know, just like that lady you were interviewing from New York, because I've been close to New York, New Jersey. That's just as bad as New York. I was in New Jersey. Ooh. Boy, I tell you, I don't miss not going back to there. I don't miss going back to New Jersey because that time I was up there for training, they had a rental car, and I told them, I'm watching how these people are driving. I told them, I says, I'm not touching the steering wheel in this state. I says, you do all the driving, you know. But the thing is, you know, she said nobody's above the law, and she agrees with Rice. I mean, you know, Rice. Why am I calling it Rice? Ice. Okay, they were doing it a long time ago, but you know, now because of all the stupidity going on in the government and everything, and everybody arguing with everybody, they're just blowing it up more, trying to make it look bad. You know, I just wish everybody could just stop from being stubborn-headed and get everything so everybody can be back to normal.
Okay.
You know,
we'll let you go with that said.
I'm going to let you. Yeah, I'm going to let you go because I'm not going to complain about anything. You know, I just want to try to. We all need to get along and get this country back rolling and all of us just be happy.
All right,
you know?
Sounds good. Thank you for your call.
Hey, and then and then
we're going to let you go. How's that?
Yeah.
Take care,
everybody everybody from the station, and the listeners, and everybody just have a wonderful, safe day.
Be safe. Take care, man.
Thanks for your call.
Yep.
Let's go right back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Ladies, good morning. Good to hear you.
Morning.
Good morning.
Let me ask you a question. What's your favorite socialist country?
I don't know. The Scandinavian countries are...
United States of America.
Ooh.
Social Security.
I'm asking you a serious question.
I'm serious.
And you're giving me foolishness.
No.
You think he was a
he's done. Hang up on him. Hang up on him.
Bye.
What do you think they said when Social Security first came to this country? Okay? Social Security is a social
roads.
benefit. All right.
The roads.
You know. So 219-845-1100. You know, if you don't want to hear foolishness, then you should not.
You don't got to listen.
You don't have to listen. Right. You see, this is the thing. You can call in the show and you can have a conversation with us. But when you start calling names and things like that, then we don't have time for that. You didn't have to agree with me. You didn't have to respect my opinion. I don't have to respect your opinion, but you still have to show respect on the radio. So that's how we operate here.
Well, maybe others don't, but we do. So
maybe,
you know.
Yeah. So there are a few things we want to discuss. Adrianna, you had some comments you wanted to make. Michelle, I know you did too after the interview.
Yep.
We only have about 10 minutes remaining. There are a couple of things we wanted to hit on. So let's go straight to your opinion, Adrianna.
Oh, I was just going to say that while listening, because like I said, I haven't been keeping up to date with what's going on in New York. But like I said, that because of how Mandani's character is towards the current government, I think that's why it's becoming a lot more popular, and also because New York City is one of the busiest cities, so that has added effect to that. But then also, like I was saying, I may not agree with her views on immigration, but I do appreciate the fact that she was very calm, cool, and collected, and even though she may not have agreed with anything that we may have to say about it, it was still like that two-way street. Hey, I may not agree with you.
Right.
Here's my views. Okay, I don't agree with you. Here's my views. Okay. No problem. Like
exactly.
That's
no one had to
it
say,
went.
"Oh, your views are foolish" or "Your views are stupid."
No, it was one of those where
your
it's like,
opinion.
okay, I may not agree with you, but that's okay.
Right.
So, Michelle, I mean, you had comments you wanted to make.
Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff, but going back to I'm going to plug my coworkers because we had a couple of really good stories over the weekend. Carol Carlson did a fantastic story on the getting rid of the child care credits, in the state of Indiana. And she talked to several women, and when I was like so excited to see that story, it was like, oh my God, you are a goddess. People, or when your coworkers write something that it's like, wow, that was like a perfect story. So check that one out. And then Meredith Coleus Pete, Joe Pete's wife, she did a fantastic story on an immigration case out of East Chicago, where this woman, they found her through her internet bill, or through her Comcast bill, and they arrested her. Her daughter is schizophrenic, and her daughter has been shipped away to Mexico. We don't know. I don't think they know exactly where she is. So this, imagine being a mom, and the daughter, by the way, is American, I believe. I would have to go back and, I skimmed the story this morning before I went to sleep. So imagine being a mom with your schizophrenic daughter. You don't know if she's got her meds. So she is somewhere in Mexico. You have no idea where she might be.
Right. I think it's tragic what's going on with these deportations and what ICE is doing in the various communities. Definitely do not support the situation as it is right now. A couple other things we want to talk about. SNAP benefits are being restored to some degree.
You'll get half.
Yeah.
You'll get half of what you were supposed to get, and that's all we can afford. And I was seeing something, I don't know who I was talking to, or, just, oh, yeah, family of two getting, $1,000 a month.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. Apparently that's what.
Well, maybe because they were behind or something, someone signed up and they get a 2-month benefit or what have you. But the benefits are not that high.
No, they're not.
They're only receiving half of the SNAP benefits, but there's money to throw a lavish Hunger Game-esque
right. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Or build the ballroom.
Well, so that they're building the ballroom. I thought that ballroom was being torn down and revamped. So where was that held? Was that held in the Rose Garden?
I have no idea, but
it looked very insane, because here the government shut down, and it's all these different things happening. We're talking about funding, we're talking about this, we're talking about that, and there's a big party being hosted with dancers in costumes and caterers, while people are
literally losing their food.
They're losing food. They're losing health care, but they're doing this. It feels very Hunger Gamey to me.
Did you see what the theme of the party was?
It looked like Gatsby.
Well, it was Gatsby, but the actual theme of the party was a little party never killed anyone or killed anybody. I swear to God. So now you've got, if anybody read Great Gatsby, 2 people were killed in Great Gatsby.
Yes.
So, just gross, man.
Let's take this quick phone call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, ladies. It's Robert from Robertsdale.
Hi,
Robert from Robertsdale.
How's it going? Let's see if I don't get disconnected. I'm going to be as polite as I can be, with probably everyone disagreeing with me, but I'll be very, very polite. I think I tend to be
Did
very
we
polite
disconnect you last time? We didn't disconnect you.
No, you did not.
Right. Okay.
No, I wasn't talking about me. I was talking about the previous caller, trying to make a point, but he was rude. He was rude. He was rude. I did hear him. You got to be polite if you're trying to push a point. A couple of things. You guys mentioned AI. Just 2 things. If you ask ChatGPT who's responsible for the shutdown, just out of curiosity, just do it on your own. ChatGPT tends to be very non-biased.
Okay.
Does its own research. So just go ahead and do that. Just ask it who is responsible, and it'll give you the answer. One there. And then the second thing about SNAP, we do have over 50% of people receiving SNAP to be non-U.S. residents. So that's another thing, right? They're non-residents. Most of them are illegal immigrants.
So we don't want to feed people who are hungry?
Wait, hold on 1 second.
I'm
no,
questioning
illegal immigrants,
you.
I'm saying.
Oh.
No, well, I'm saying I would prefer to feed hungry American citizens, to be quite honest. But then this is the part that's a little tricky. The majority of the illegal immigrants receiving food stamps are of Afghanistan, Iraq, they're not even of Latino descent, but the majority are not American. So we, as Americans, with our tax dollars, are funding and paying billions of dollars to feed non-Americans. I find that to be sad because we have millions of hungry Americans, black, brown, white, all over the country who are struggling. But we tend to fight for those that are not American. I find that to be sad. And then the last thing here, as far as reporting and reporters being on there, I know one of I think it's Michelle who works for the Times.
Post-Tribune.
Post-Tribune.
Right.
Chicago Tribune, parent company.
A reporter is neutral and it reports the facts. And I challenge you to report the facts.
Hold on.
Ideology.
Robert from Robertsdale.
That's all I'm saying.
No,
I'm
Robert
just saying
from
to
Robertsdale.
report the facts.
I want you to listen for a second, okay?
Please report the facts. That's
Robert
all I'm
from
asking.
Robertsdale.
Sir,
hold on 1 second.
I defy you to go back.
Don't be upset. I'm being very polite here.
No. I defy you to go back and look at anything.
Her, first of
yes.
All right. First, let me say this first, Michelle.
Okay.
First of all,
okay,
Michelle's job is not here at WJOB. When she writes for the Post Tribune, she is a writer and journalist for that show, for that newspaper.
I would disagree on the journalist part, but she is a writer.
It's not
you are correct.
All right. Hang up on him. Let's hang up on him.
Bye, Robert.
Bye. Thanks. We don't even need to thank you for your call. When we are doing this talk show, this is our talk show on the radio. She is not writing a story for the Post Tribune. But you can not go back and find anywhere where she has lied or falsified any information that she has given here at the station. She did say one thing that she had to eat the crow for.
Yep.
But her capacity as a journalist, an award-winning journalist, let's get that straight for you, Robert from Robertsdale, an award-winning journalist. You will not be the one to call in here and question her credibility, okay? Now, Michelle, I'm sorry.
No,
is there
thank
anything
you.
you have to say?
No. Going back to one thing I was going to, well, how many migrants use food stamps in America? SNAP benefits data analyzed.
I was just going to hit that too. Go ahead.
Okay. While headlines often spotlight, and this was from Newsweek, while headlines often spotlight immigrant use of government benefits, data shows non-citizens account for a small fraction of SNAP recipients and consume fewer welfare dollars per person than U.S.-born citizens. In 2019, about half of poor households with U.S.-born members, 50%, participated in SNAP, compared with 47% of poor immigrant households, in which all members were eligible. And let me see
and the majority of SNAP beneficiaries happen to be white families. Just make sure you understand that.
Okay.
White American families.
An analysis by the Economic Policy Innovation Center has found that in fiscal year 2023, approximately 1.764 million non-citizens received SNAP benefits, costing taxpayers around $5.7 billion. 1.7 million. Okay, how many people are in the United States now?
But regardless, do we let people starve because they're not a citizen? Those same people still pay taxes. If they have a job, they may not get a tax refund.
They probably do because they're probably working at a restaurant making $2 an hour waitressing, or cooking is what,
regardless,
$8, $9.
Do I let somebody starve because? Would I ever say, show me your driver's license to give somebody a meal? No way. With that said, our time is up. The next show's coming up.
One thing to add, I did look up when he said at first with AI ChatGPT and asked them who's responsible for the government shutdown.
How'd that go?
I put, this is my exact thing, I put who is responsible for the government shutdown in the USA. ChatGPT replies, responsibility for a federal government shutdown in the United States is shared because it hinges on multiple branches of government failing to carry out their roles, but here's how it breaks down. Which, all right, I agree with you on that. It is shared because we got to negotiate, and there's no negotiating
It's still
happening.
the Trump government shutdown.
Oh,
because what Donald Trump said, and I'm going by his words, when the government was shut down before, it's whoever's at the top that is responsible. So he wanted to blame it on Obama. Now he can take the blame for this.
Right.
Our time is up. The next show is coming in. we want to say thank you all for tuning in. Just to let people know, our fearless leader will be returning to the airways soon. We're probably going to minimize our show to maybe once a month or something like that. We're going to discuss that.
Right.
But stay tuned. Jed will be back.
Yep. We're not going anywhere, though. So
thanks for tuning in.
Take care, guys. Have a good week.